if Bitcoin did not, in your opinion, if Bitcoin does not successfully transition from a strictly store of value / savings technology into a broadly used medium of exchange, that it was your opinion that it would fail?
It will fail.
It will fail. Can you please, that, because I've never heard anyone actually say that. And it's always, I think for me, it's been considered that it is a natural progression. You know, there's this work by William Jevons that said gold was a collectible, then a store of value, then a medium of exchange, then a unit of account.
Work, yeah.
We thought Bitcoin, Bitcoin would follow the same path.
This is a network. This is different. This is different. It's, in some ways it's the same, but this is different because it's a network protocol. So let's just, and I want to be careful here. There are a lot of people that see it the exact same way I do. And those make up the majority of long-term Bitcoiners, I would say. Mm-hmm. And then there seems like a way bigger number of people who it's just a store of value. Mm-hmm. And those would make up why it would be a bigger number is because of 8 billion people coming into this and understanding this. It takes time to understand it.
Yes.
And they go and some go deeper and deeper and some don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And so now let's use this. So Jack Dorsey would say the same thing I just said, and many others too. And are actively working to create it as a medium of exchange. Mm-hmm. But let's go back to the first principles of the discussion we started with. You live in a world of control that's controlled by manipulating money, and that world has to be inflationary. Mm-hmm. So if you're pricing Bitcoin from that inflationary system, wouldn't you be centralizing faster, especially if technology is moving faster and faster? Because that system has to be inflationary. Mm-hmm. So your actions by pricing it are actually incenting the worst thing. Now you'll get rich in that fiat currency and you'll probably sell to somebody who's consolidating this, centralizing it more. Right? But your actions are actually centralized.
When you say pricing, do you mean strictly thinking in terms of that money, using it as your frame of reference? Or do you mean denominating your actions and trades in it?
So both. Okay. Because if you're pricing in it, you're probably not trading in it. You're probably not using it as currency.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So then you'll take more risk and you'll say, you know what? The government's got my back. Mm-hmm. Right. I'm going to, the ETF is regulated. Why would I hold this in self-custody? I'll just go to the ETF or any of the other things that are at the bottom of most of the trades, or it's Coinbase, right?
Right.
9 of the top 12 are custodying Coinbase, and you're centralizing Bitcoin more and more.
Okay.
Right. And all of these actions will seem totally normal to you.
Right.
Because and honestly, if I wanted to attack Bitcoin and I was a government, I would say I'm on side with it and collect as much as I could.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Of course.
From people who were selling in my piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right. And so
getting more and more Bitcoin concentrated into fewer hands that you can access or control. Yeah. Which in this case, centralized ETFs is Coinbase custody.
Centralized actors. Yeah. And if everything had to go through payments to that system of centralizing and more manipulation, then that system would have to attack Bitcoin because it's incongruent. The free market is incongruent with the inflationary system. Yeah. They're opposites. So you would be captured more and more and more. And then when the chain split came later on and all of your economic interest was in this centralized one, and they said, these transactions can't happen, what would you do? Most of those people won't run nodes.
Right.
They wouldn't be economic nodes. Yeah. And so if I was what I say, I've thought through this. You can imagine how much I've thought through this because I always knew it was a risk, and it was the risk was the same. The risk is it's always been through human society. We choose that simplicity. We don't see ourselves. Right. We don't see it. We think it's somebody else, and it's actually us. Mm-hmm. And so if we want it to actually be, if the two systems are incongruent together and you're spending in the one that's centralizing, then you're part of the centralization. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has to be a medium of exchange. Otherwise, the government's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. You're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker, and eventually that would take it. Now, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. Now, not that it's not a risk, not that we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't see it happening because once you know something new,
Yeah.
you can change.
Right.
Right? You can apply your actions differently.
Yeah.
I spend it in it every day.
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter anymore. I'm on Nostr because I'm putting my energy into the world that I want to see. It's the first reason I got into Bitcoin too, and I realized for myself that I was a hypocrite. I was a hypocrite because I was on all these boards in Fiat land, and I had this hedge against Bitcoin with Bitcoin, and I was talking out of my ass, right? So
Because you're living and operating in fiat world. But,
I was on podcasts for a couple of years doing this, and that's actually why we started Ego Death Capital.
Yeah.
So I could move my time into the system and help contribute to companies that were building layer 2, layer 3, all of the stuff that would actually create a world where 8 billion people could be in the service of 8 billion people.
Yeah.
So, and moving my time, which I couldn't see before.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I know it's not, I don't, people can move whenever they want.
Yeah.
But once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
And so for me, I can't unsee it, and I can't unsee the risk.
Yeah.
As well, because the majority of people I know are treating it just as a store of value.
Yeah.
And just anybody who comes on here, your podcast from now on, ask them, how do you resolve that conflict from a store of value from a monetary system?
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it's putting, you're giving some pressure for me to put on myself actually. Cause I made an effort to get on Nostr, and then frankly, I don't know if I got on too early or whatever, but it was technically difficult and I ran into some friction and I just kind of gave up on it. And I know I need to reapply myself and give it another round.
So you'll get this, and I'm not trying to push you here. I'm trying to see yourself in it.
Yeah.
Right. So and I understand. So Lightning is an example on layer 2. If you went back 3 or 4 years ago, all those same things would have been said about Lightning.
Sure.
Payment failures 40% of the time.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was hard.
The participation is what makes it move forward.
So participation says, no, I'm going to create this other coin that's faster and better, and I'm going to do this other thing instead of it. And then the people build, and now that it's 96, 97%. They work all the time, and now it's lighting up. Same thing in Nostr. The amount of growth in that ecosystem is staggering. And this participation, it's our actions within the world that we just say we want that creates the world we want.
Exactly.
So how could it be?
Right.
So, and I would ask everyone who says, like anybody who says it's only a store of value, try to seriously find a reason how that wouldn't be centralized from a system of inflation.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, click here to find more just like it, and here to find our most recent episode. Also, make sure to like this video to help shine light on the corruption of money, and be sure to subscribe to this channel to stay connected.